right.
All right. Thanks for joining us today, guys. Omid Small here, the Customer Success Manager at Integral. And today I have with me the President and CEO, Dexter Hardy. And we'll be talking about CentOS. Welcome, Dexter.
Hey, thanks, Omid. Thanks, everyone, for joining us. Today, we're going to discuss CentOS 8 and a possible migration path to Oracle Linux 8 from CentOS.
So what is end of life for CentOS?
All right, that's a good question. So end of life is for everyone who's used CentOS and followed that project. It's been around for a long time, and unfortunately, they've ended support and maintenance, updates, all that stuff for CentOS, and so so now they are moving to Stream, and people who are using those legacy products would need to migrate or find another platform to migrate to.
And when is the actual end of life for CentOS?
So CentOS 8 actually has already reached end of life, so I'm pretty sure no one's running CentOS 8 in production. But all jokes aside, it actually reached end of life December 31st, 2021, and CentOS 7 is scheduled for end of life in June of 2024. So you still have a little bit of a runway on that one.
And who's actually affected by this end of life?
So again, any enterprise organization or organization in general that's running CentOS as their operating system for all their enterprise workloads or running their services in the cloud, they would be impacted by the end of life for CentOS.
Let me ask you a question then. Why is it important that companies have a migration path off of CentOS?
So again, given that this is November 1st, last month was Cyber Security Awareness Month, and there's always security updates, patches, things of that nature that need to be updated and kept in sync. So with the end of life, there are no more patches and maintenance support agreements. All those things are going to kind of sunset. So for anyone who has ongoing concern with their workloads, obviously they would want to do a migration or have a migration path.
So what I'm going to do now is turn it over to Dexter and have him walk us through the actual migration onto Oracle from CentOS.
Okay, good. So with that, I'm going to share my screen. Right. So what I've done here is in Azure, we're a Gold Microsoft partner, and what we have done is we have created an accelerator that allows for users in Azure or anyone specifically running CentOS 8 to upgrade to Oracle Linux, and it's an in-place upgrade. So the benefits of that is basically you don't have to repoint your applications. You don't have to go through and do a lot of back-end reconfiguration after the upgrade. So again, we're here in the Azure portal. Inside of Azure, it's basically telling you that you're running CentOS, gives you the operating system version. So we're running the last updated version. As part of our accelerator, if you have run an update in the past and you have it running in production and you run into an error where it says mirror list, oh no, where are the URL? Our accelerator will actually help with that as well. So we've basically broken it down into a 3-step process that kind of helps everyone facilitate this. So if you're IT challenged and you don't really have someone on staff who's adept at it, that's why we kind of labeled it as an accelerator. Literally, we boiled it down to a 3-step process. And then if you can work with and look at a copy paste type of scenario, you can get things up and going. So, and with that said, I'm here with the third step, and now I'm going to kick off the update. And so what this does is it goes out, it rematches the stream with the actual archived version of it, and then provides you with the latest update for that particular version of CentOS. So if you were running CentOS.x, which means, you know, CentOS 1, 2, 3, or 4 up to 5.2, it will give you the latest updates. If you are running, and so it'll just run through that really quickly for you. So that's what you're watching right now is the script actually going through that process. So we'll let that go.
And Dexter, while the script's running through the process, could you explain again what are the benefits of the in-place migration?
So again, yes, the in-place migration is a scenario where if you already have workloads that are pointing to it, or if you have, which obviously it's running in Azure, you're probably using it for something. You probably have, some critical applications running, supporting it. One of the things that I didn't do as part of this demo is best practices, you would also obviously want to do a snapshot of it just to capture it to make sure you do a backup. But we've tested these scripts numerous times. And like I said, this accelerator will get you through it. It's just a matter of, at this point, watching the paint dry, if you will, because it's, all of the goodness is baked into the script. So we've taken the care to, over our 20 years of being in business, to incorporate a lot of the scripts, a lot of the testing, making sure that, all of the good things that you want to have happen in your production environment happen. And so right now what we're watching is all of the scripts. All of the scripts are running, and we're at 92. So we're almost through the update process. And so, like I said, this will get you to the latest version of CentOS, which is part of the update process itself. While this is still running, for everyone that's out there listening, if you are a Microsoft partner and you sell products in the Azure Marketplace, we have and will be releasing at the beginning of first quarter 2023. We'll be releasing Moxie, and that is a tool that automates that whole process. So basically, from the Azure Marketplace, somebody downloads your product. We have a product that basically synchronizes that flow, puts it into a CRM system, and then automates a journey for thanking the users to that's a traditional e-commerce checkout directly from the Azure Marketplace.
And you said that'll be available when?
First quarter 2023. So thanks for that. The script just finished. So with that said, now we've updated the CentOS 8 to the latest version. And so now, once that script finishes, we will run 3 more scripts, which will presto changeo our environment from CentOS to Oracle. And it will be running Oracle 8.6. I am just copying and pasting this in so you guys don't sit there and watch me type. I don't want you judging me. But as it relates to what's happening now, these set of scripts are going in and it creates a log. So, in a perfect world, everything goes absolutely as expected. But, we've created this accelerator to also fill in the gaps for when it doesn't. So it creates a log that basically tracks everything that's happening. throughout the migration process, and it puts it in a place where you can see it. But the purpose of this script is to literally, hashtag easy button when you are in production and you're trying to figure out, okay, you just left out of your meeting with your board of directors and they're like, hey, we have to upgrade ASAP. Can we have that done by next week? And so instead of having to, sweat and be concerned about, okay, what are we going to do? We have to get everybody off the system. And then we do a migration of what's going to happen, who's on first, what's on second, and all of the project management tasks that need to happen. Instead of having to do that, we've taken all of that burden on ourselves and put it in these wonderful accelerator scripts that, like I said, we make what you do in the cloud easier. So again, we're at step 31. There's a couple steps that is running through with regard to that. But yeah, so who benefits from this? Any government agency, any critical infrastructure organization. If you are, enterprise, small to large businesses, that you have your critical infrastructure or production workloads running on this. Obviously, this will make your lives a lot easier by doing an in-place upgrade. So for Azure Government, one of the things that, in addition to Moxie, if you guys didn't see some of the advertisement that we pushed out, we have a whole suite of Azure virtual desktops. And it's a combination to, it's an addition to the existing Microsoft AVD products that are out there. Microsoft AVDs are Windows-based. Ours are Linux-based. So we have Azure Virtual Desktop on Ubuntu for developers, and that basically gives you a development environment in the cloud that you can spin up as many as you need. We have a Azure Virtual Desktop for cybersecurity, and that is running on Kali Linux, Parrot OS, Black Arc Linux, and Fedora Security Labs. So again, for organizations that are hashtag be cyber smart, and you need to go in and secure your environments or do auditing, testing, and those types of things, those are virtual desktops that are running in Azure, and it provides you with the scale and the peace of mind to run those applications natively in the cloud. We will continue to have different content throughout to kind of talk to some of the challenges that different customers of ours have run into in the past. And with regard to that, the benefit of having someone, a trusted Microsoft partner like us, providing these scripts is, one, we've tested them. Two, we've gone through the rigor of making sure that everything is compatible with running on the Azure cloud. A lot of our solutions, like I said before, are in the Azure marketplace, and as part of our support to our customers, we try to give them a full holistic approach to maintaining, updating, and thriving in the Azure cloud.
While these scripts are running, just want to let you know that we can answer any questions here live while we're doing our LinkedIn.
So yeah, so if anyone has any questions, if they have ideas about content that they would like to see, we can drop it in the chat, and we can either reply back to those, or we'll go ahead with our regular scheduled items. One of the things that we'll do before the end of the year is a SQL on-prem to cloud migration for SQL Server. And we have some other products that are out there as well. So Trino, which is a database, a data-centric tool, we'll go over that one as well. So we are clocking along here. Again, I hate to make it seem like it's so easy, but it technically is that easy. You just literally copy the scripts and they run. So it's counting up for you. We're at 375 of 12, 16, but it's not really that. It's not going to take that long. A lot of these scripts, the speed at which they run will depend on the hardware that the machine is. Obviously, for this install, we just used uh, a standard 2 CPU, 8 gig machine. So it's not like it's a powerhouse, but just wanted to kind of show the sense of information that was there. So we do realize that customers have a variety of VM instances that they use in the Azure Marketplace. So we picked something that's a standard offering within Microsoft.
Okay.
Yeah. So with that said, we're almost halfway through the scripts here. Some of the things that you'll notice about our approach to industry, and one of the things that we're building with our culture here at Integral is its inclusivity. So we initially our tagline and our mantra is people, technology, and change. And so what that really means is everything that we do starts with people, the diversity, their culture, their different ideas, and what they bring to the marketplace. The second thing is technology. Anyone who's worked in technology knows that 6 months from now, the technology that we have will be gone or on its way out. And so, in an organization, you need to be able to have confidence to go ahead and say, yes, we're going to implement, for example, someone that implemented CentOS 8, and now you're in a scenario where you need to find the next best path for your organization. We already did this one on Rocky Linux, so we did a migration of that. This is just another alternative. So if you're running Alma Linux, if you were running CentOS and you have chosen something other than Oracle, if you missed our last event, we actually did an in-place migration from CentOS to to Rocky Linux. Then to today, we're doing Oracle, but it also works with Alma Linux and Red Hat. So, like I said, for any organization that has, come to the challenge of end of life and they need to support their current workloads or environments, and they're getting pressure from their organization to figure out, how do we do this? We need to move. How can we get a quote unquote easy button? Our scripts will help you there.
Thank you for that explanation. And as we're finishing up here, again, just a reminder that you can go ahead and drop any questions you have in the chat. We're able to answer those live.
Mhm. So disadvantages to not doing an in-place upgrade or working with Integral. So I'll start with the in-place upgrade and why it's important. I'll speak to the positive, not to the negative. The positive points of the in-place is, obviously, if it's a critical infrastructure, you'd have to remap all of the other applications that were talking to it and put it in the same network and move things around so that you would ensure that all the other things in your enterprise still knew how to find that resource. Two, it's less tenuous on the organization. So if you install it and you forget one script that you needed to install, or you had one dependency that was missing on the application and you forgot to install it, obviously that would cause you additional time to make sure that you install that. But as it relates to, the in-place upgrade, all of those things are pretty much taken care of in the upgrade itself. We are at the last script here that's running. And so like I said, it's pretty painless, the in-place upgrade. Like I said, we've taken diligent effort to kind of go through the process, make sure we understand, what is required in order to do that. But also looking at what would potentially happen to your organization. As we know, time is important, and if you have downtime, typically most people who work in DevOps, they are trying to do stuff over the weekend or the holidays are coming up. So, if you need assistance with that, you can kind of schedule it such that you do those during those downtimes. But with these scripts, again, it gives you the peace of mind. You're not sitting there, sweating, is this going to work? How do we regress back out of it? But like I said, we take all of those things into consideration. And like I said, we've had 20 years of experience of working in enterprise environments and then taking that into account and then baking that into our solutions.
I must admit, this was a pretty quick process. Is that something that can be expected?
Yeah. So again, based on what you have, it depends on the workload that you have in the cloud and how the size of the machine, how many CPUs, all that stuff will dictate how quickly the process runs. But it's not going to take that long. And like I said, this was a 30-minute, lunch and learn, if you will. And we just kind of went through the entire process from start to finish as though, again, if you told your boss, hey, we need to upgrade from CentOS to Oracle, and you're like, okay, I'll have that done by the end of the day, you probably go out of that meeting a hero. So hopefully you'll take some of this from the lunch and learn, and you guys can take it back and communicate it into your organizations as to potential paths forward. We want all of our customers to make sure that they do their due diligence, but I think you will find that our solution is second to none.
And we do have an opportunity to reach us directly here at success@integral.com. If you have any questions or if you need any additional information on the topics that we've covered with CentOS today.
Okay. And that was pretty much on cue, Omid, so thanks for that. So our customer success team is second to none, and the scripts has just now completed. So if I go in and run a sudo command to let me know what's going on this machine. So now if you look at the machine's printout of what it is, it says that it's Oracle Linux Server 8.6. So we literally did some magic on the screen for you guys. I'm going to refresh the portal here for you. And so when this refreshes, it had already updated in the Azure portal so that you could see it, but I actually want you to take a look at here in the top and in the center section of the properties. So now you'll see the operating system is now it's Oracle 8.6. And again, this was the machine that we started on, CentOS Oracle Linux 8.VM. So like I said, in the little bit of time that we've been on the call, we've done an in-place upgrade. If there are no questions, we really appreciate you guys coming and joining with us to see the in-place upgrade on Azure. And so we're going to wrap up. But
thank you, Dexter, for joining us. And again, thank you for tuning in. And remember that we make what you do in the cloud easier.
Yep. And we're helping all enterprise organizations, large and small. We're empowering digital transformation. So one journey at a time. So thanks so much, guys. And we look forward to the next time we're on. Take care.